Welcome to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yantz, and this is part 2 of my interview with Amrutdeshmukh, or the booklet guy, as you know him. I want to thank him once again for doing this and being so gracious with his time, and enjoy. I think that's the problem with it. We're looking for that dopamine effect, and it's like, look for more the delayed gratification of things, of like, what is this going to build today? And I feel like I'm giving a plug to the compound effect, but compound effect, he talks about that. Meditation may be the thing that takes you into this other realm, just by starting with something like that. And like you said, just starting with that one idea of how do I do this, that's going to branch off into other realms. Like you said, you start with the WhatsApp. What do I have? I have WhatsApp. And then you're blown away by the fact that, oh, wow, look at all these people that I didn't even know are coming to add to, who are interested in this. So it's just you're on to something.
Exactly. And so, within 1 week, there were 1,000 readers on my WhatsApp. That boosted my confidence so much that yes, the idea is working and it's a perfect win-win. I love reading. I read 1 book a day at least, uh, when there is no lockdown. And when there is a lockdown, I stop keeping the count of the books. Yeah. So the normal reading speed of most of the people is 150 to 200 words per minute. That's the average reading speed. I have increased my reading speed through practice to almost 1,200 words per minute, depending on the complexity of the book. Yeah.
Now let's because you just hit on something that I've been wanting to talk about.
Sure.
I don't like the term speed reading, but in some ways that's kind of what we're talking about here. In some ways, because you sped up your reading. What were some of the things that you did? Was it just something that just happened over time? I was talking, my last interview, he was talking about how if when you're in a library, it's silent for a reason, because it's not supposed to be your voice. It's supposed to be, you're just supposed to be kind of like taking in the information. Is that something that you relate to?
You're right. Justin, to be very honest, I've read more than 20 books on speed reading. None of them actually helped me. Yeah, they all talked about practicing your eyeballs. They did not work. Okay. uh, One book that literally got convinced that convinced me that how we can increase the ultimate increase reading speed is actually a natural byproduct of you learning to think faster.
Yes,
It's not the other way around.
That's exactly
Yes.
what I think. That's what I like about speed
Yes.
reading, is it forces you to think
Yeah.
faster at
Yeah.
a and then
Yeah.
it's harder to drift off, because you're
Exactly.
having to,
Yeah.
you're kind of having to just shut it off.
Yes. So I would highly recommend a book to all our viewers. It's written by David Butler, and the name of the book is "Reading with the Right Brain." Okay.
Reading with the right brain.
Again, the title is misleading. It's very cliche, but the concepts are very, very actionable and convincing, and they have worked for me. So I'll give you a fair idea what he exactly talks about. So as we said, that increasing the thinking speed will have a natural consequence of increasing our reading speed, right? Not the other way around, right?
Yeah, like you said, the instead of looking at the result of, I got to read faster, if you can think faster, the byproduct will be speed reading.
Yes, exactly.
Which I like. I like what you're saying
Yeah.
there, because a lot of people, when I see speed reading, they just like, no, I slow read it. It's like, okay, I'm going at it the wrong way. No, it's the mind that needs to speed up,
Yes.
that you can read. It's teaching you another way to think faster.
Yeah.
as opposed to
Now,
thinking of it like I'm just going to just speed read the book. It's like I feel like
right.
speed reading is almost defeats what it's supposed to be doing. It's like the worst term we could have come up with. It's speed
Correct.
reading.
And so, if we, so what is thinking? If you want to learn how to think faster, let's define what is thinking. Basically, thinking is conceptualization, visualization, imagination. They are interrelated. Everything is interrelated. This is what thinking is all about, right? Now, let's go thousands of years back when the written text was invented for the first time by human beings. Yeah, the way to communicate. They must have first learned how to draw. If I wanted to communicate to you a tiger 1,000 years ago, I would have drawn a picture, okay, a crude picture of a tiger to convey you that I want to tell you a tiger. Am I right? Then later on, we realized the problem that it takes a lot of space and time. So we replace those images with symbols. So a horizontal line with a vertical line is T. A single straight line is I. So TIGER, a collection of these symbols, represents an image called tiger. This is how
beginning
this is how the
beginning of
language
linguistics.
evolved. Yeah, this is how the language evolved, right?
Yeah.
Here lies the whole problem. Our mind is naturally wired to see pictures, not those symbols. So actually, reading doesn't come naturally to us. Our mind, our brain is not made naturally to read those symbols. We are naturally made to see pictures. See, Justin,
Yeah.
I know it's very counterintuitive, no, but I'm very sure you'll get convinced in next 5 minutes. Have you ever somebody complaining? Have you ever heard somebody complaining that I find it very hard to scroll those Instagram feeds? I find it very difficult to watch movies. Nobody says this because we are naturally wired
Yeah.
to see movies. The word movie itself is moving images, right? But everybody says that I find it difficult
Yeah.
to read a book. I doze off after reading 5 pages. I leave the books half read because we are not naturally made to read. All right. The symbols
Yeah.
are obstacles. Symbols means the letters, the alphabets. Right. Now, here comes
Yeah. Yeah.
what we have to do exactly. We have to train our mind to convert those symbols into visual pictures as fast as possible. All right. For that, you have to ignore the individual words. For example, the line, I am talking to Justin. This is a meaningful line. Okay. We are taught since childhood to read each word, one word at a time. I am talking to Justin. There lies a big problem. Now, if I isolate the word I, although it is a meaningful word, it has no meaning in the context. The word I doesn't give you any message.
Yeah.
Okay. So the words are just the messengers. The message lies in the group of words. Now, if I join another two words with the word I am talking. Now, I am talking as a is a meaningful phrase. It has a larger picture. And another phrase to Justin gives more meaning and gives a bigger picture. So I am talking
Yeah.
is one meaningful phrase. To Justin is another meaningful phrase. And then we get the whole meaning. So what we have to do is we have to train ourselves to read those meaningful phrases and ignore those individual words.
Yeah. That's exactly what we have to do.
That's exactly what is all about increasing your thinking speed. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think part of the problem is also the flaw in the way we're taught to read, which is one word
At the
individually?
time. Yeah.
Like if we started with teaching people how to look at the image, do
Yeah.
you think we would do you think we could
100%.
introduce that at an
100%.
early at elementary level?
Yes, in fact, children's book are full of pictures. That's the whole purpose. But then
Yeah.
why, as we grow up, the
Yeah.
pictures go out of the
Like,
books?
okay, now it's like we go backwards instead of
Correct.
going forwards.
Yeah,
And maybe if we did that, we would unlock something else and be
yeah,
like, oh, wow, maybe this is the way now to teach math. Maybe this is the way to teach this, as opposed to like we do, breaking everything down. You're right. We started
yeah,
with pictures.
yeah.
How did we convey the sense of a tiger? We drew it. Here's the linguistic of that. It's communication, but yeah, it starts with the picture. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's the problem, is we've kind of gone backwards. We have the right idea, when we're born, and then it's like, oh, no, stop that, throw that away. Start reading that individual. It's like it slows you down, which makes
Right.
me wonder, is is this another form, like they knew at a point where they were like, how can we control these people more? I
Hmm.
know, we'll have them read slower. So
Right.
that they're
Right.
not thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you must have noticed, Justin, that when we read a story, our reading speed naturally increases because it's very easy to see the picture because it's a story, right?
Yeah.
When I say that tiger is running, immediately you paint a mental picture, right? A tiger is running. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
But a sentence like perseverance and determination is the key to business success. Was there any picture on your mental canvas?
A
No.
businessman holding a briefcase.
So here lies the problem. Okay, fine. So converting those stories into pictures is very easy. That's what we are made for. Our brain is made for. But converting those abstract concepts into visualized pictures is difficult. There you need a lot of practice. And you know what? Surprisingly, what I learned from that book, your drawing skills will help you to increase your reading speed. Your
Oh, wow.
drawing skills will help you to increase your reading speed. You don't have to be a great artist like Pablo Picasso, but if you learn to convert those meaningful phrases into images as fast as possible, you'll become a fast reader, right? Literally nowadays, I don't look at words, I just get those ideas. Sometimes it becomes so predictable that I know that the last two words of the line are going to be these because I'm looking at the picture and not the words, because words are just the messengers. The message lies in those meaningful phrases, in those group of words, right? So it's about seeing
Now,
and not reading.
so okay, so you hit on something that was really fascinating to me. Drawing skills. How did you go about that? How did you, what would you say somebody that is interested in doing in increasing their reading ability
Hmm.
through drawing? How would you go about
Yeah, exactly. Now let's go back to the line. Determination and perseverance is the key to business success. You gave the answer right. The guy with the suitcase, right?
it?
Now
Yeah.
business, but we missed the two words determination and perseverance. Now determination, I would visualize Will Smith. I think that the most determined, or Kobe Bryant. Yeah, the most
Yeah.
determined guy I ever know on planet Earth. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I cried that the day I heard the news of his plane
I know,
crash.
it's very sad.
Yeah, one of my favorite sportsmen. Yeah, perseverance. Yeah, maybe Barack Obama. Okay, so I
Yeah.
mean, it's completely it's your own imagination need not match my imagination. Okay, you have a different upbringing than mine. So it's all about same like meditation.
Yeah.
Where whenever we distract our mind and our mind goes away from the breath, we try to bring it back and try to focus on the breath. Same is the case here. When we
Mm.
forget that it's about seeing the pictures and not the words, we again try to come back to the new habit. Yeah.
Yeah.
The most frustrating part of my journey was I used to fall back to the old habit and focus on the words, right? So coming back again and training yourself to ignore the words and look at the pictures. Yeah. And then once you understand the magic, reading becomes so fun.
Interesting. This is a fascinating. I'm gonna be honest. I've never. I assume a lot of this is in that the working the reading with the right brain. A lot of these concepts came from, but I never thought about it like that.
In
Things
fact,
like
I
pictures and
contacted
drawing.
I contacted David Butler. He has responded to me. We both are coming together and coming out with a course, an authentic course, which is not just a marketing gimmick,
Yeah.
which promises that your reading speed will increase to 1,000 words. No, but things which will really work for you,
Yeah.
which I got convinced. I don't know whether it is scientific or not, but it really convinced me that yes, visualization is reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reading is comprehension.
Yeah.
If you are not comprehending, it's not reading.
Yeah.
It's
No.
looking,
You're just looking at the words.
looking at the black ink on the white paper.
Unfortunately, a lot of students are doing that in elementary school. They're just looking and they're not seeing the picture. Maybe another concept we could do when we're teaching, younger children is have the sentence and have the picture here so that they see the two, so they can compare the two and be like, see
Yeah.
this in this, you know?
In fact, that will be the part of our course. So we are working on
Yeah.
a software where, yeah. So if you are, a red umbrella and then three pictures, of which two will be the wrong pictures and the one will be the right one, which represents the red umbrella, you have to
Yeah.
click on the right one. That will train you to
Yeah.
convert the words into images. So we are working on that.
Interesting. Interesting. Are you going to, are you mentioned you don't have to draw like Picasso. So just drawing anything, even if it's stick figures, just getting something out there so that you can compare and contrast the two.
Perfect.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. That is absolutely that is like one of the most that's like I'm gonna be trying that like as soon
Awesome.
as I get off here. I'm gonna be like that is because I think that's the key is really getting people to see the pictures as opposed to
Yes. Exactly.
seeing it as the thing, which in
Yeah.
some ways what we're talking about right now is is dissecting the idea of reading and looking at it in a different perspective. And I like that you guys are creating a course, and I think that's the right way to go about it. An umbrella, here's the word umbrella, here's the picture, point to the point to to the two, so you can compare and contrast the two. And that way people can get away from the
Yes.
idea of
Yes.
just, oh, these are just, like you said, just words on a
Yes.
page.
Yes.
It's like, no, these words on page are just, they're supposed to convey the idea of a picture. Create something in your mind,
Yes.
whether it be, like you said, persistence is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
indulgence of,
And then you will never doze off. See, you never doze off while watching a movie.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
moving
But
images.
exactly. Huh. But we doze off while reading. That means you are focusing on the words. Today, when I learned to ignore those words and focus on seeing the pictures, I never doze off.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
then, because you are taught that the slower you read, the better you understand. That's the biggest myth that
Yeah.
teachers have taught us in schools and colleges. Yeah.
And they still, yeah.
In fact, speed is the friend of concentration. I repeat, speed is a friend of concentration. I can prove it. Okay? Justin, you drive a car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I drive.
so when I'm driving at a very low speed, there is some traffic. It's okay.
Yeah. It's
There is
boring.
some congestion. I easily get distracted. I keep changing the FM channel, look here and there. Who is sitting in that car? Oh, who is
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm driving at a very high speed on a national highway, I sometimes even switch off the music. The stakes are
Really?
high. I'm like, bang on. I don't even dare to look here and there.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Automatically, speed is the friend of concentration. Your focus automatically increases when there is speed. Right? Just try out there is a settings on YouTube where you can increase the speed by
Yeah.
1.5x, 2x. When you do that, okay, just go once we are done with this podcast,
Yeah.
just watch some maybe my own TED talk on YouTube. Go and increase
Yeah.
the speed to say 1.5. You will naturally see yourself leaning forward and trying to focus more because now stakes are high. If you skip even 1 second, you will lose the entire story. Speed is the friend of concentration.
Hmm. Interesting. Should we make interested? You hit on like an interesting concept here. It's like, should we put like maybe that option? Put out films with that speed already set into the film so that they can to build concentration in people without them actually even realizing that they're actually doing that. Like, I think that would be a fascinating concept. If you tell them what you're doing, they're going to go but if that's the byproduct of them enjoying what you're doing, then that's an interesting concept. I have to write that down. Or listening to music fast in that way.
Maybe.
Maybe is this a way to build the concentration necessary for it? Because I've the thing I'm frustrated with the digital age is it seems like people are having the 5-second attention span, and it's like, you know it's not technology's fault that we haven't moved. Technology has moved so far ahead of us that we haven't like moved with it. We've just kind of like just been riding it instead of like here it is. We can still keep that concentration with the digital age. It's just how we perceive it. Maybe if we start looking at, like you said, taking things in a speed, using speed to develop the concentration. Maybe you're right. Maybe we have been looking at this the wrong way, and because like you said, everyone thinks, oh, you got to read slow to really take it in. But what you're saying now is that no, if you go faster, you'll be able to do it. So maybe we can actually train people subconsciously to to
Yes.
to
Yes.
have a deeper level of concentration. Because it seems that,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially in America, they're very, you give them a mandate, you give them something, they're just like, no, I don't want to do that. But if you give them something that they enjoy and they don't realize that the byproduct is that, maybe that's the way to build the level of concentration so we can compete with Instagram. And Instagram isn't just this mind suck, it's something that we can use. Because I think all of these are tools. The problem is we've relied too much on social media to just kind of like as we do with Netflix. If you watch Netflix and you watch a show and then you do that, but if you just watch a show and then you just keep watching the next show and the next show and the next show, that's not you're not really enjoying it anymore. Now you're almost addicted to the product. You see the same thing with YouTube. You can get sucked in for like 4 hours. Be like, oh, what's the next one? Oh, the next one. The next one. Next thing you know, it's like, oh wow, 8 hours. So I love what you just said. Speed is the friend of concentration. And I don't think that is talked about enough, is how important speed is. And you've kind of, blown my idea. It's like, maybe that's the way
Yeah.
to get people to read again.
Yes. 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 That's because I say this because our brain naturally works faster than our eyes, right?
Yeah.
Our brain works faster than our eyes. And when we deliberately read slower, our brain feels insulted
Yeah.
and
It's like,
hence we start wandering off,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We don't keep up the pace. The eyes don't keep up the pace with the brain. The brain feels insulted and then we start wandering off. We doze off. I mentioned all these things in my own book. By the way, I've written my own book. The
Right.
Yeah, I'll just get a copy of it. Just a minute.
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So this is my
Oh,
book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. Not written by Stephen Covey, written by me.
ah.
Yeah.
Can
And
can you can you get this book now?
yes,
Really? Okay. All
yeah,
right.
it's already published. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna read that.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to read that and
Yeah. So
bring it back.
when people say, I mean, when I say that speed is a friend of concentration, people commonly complain that what about comprehension? Yeah, there is no point in reading faster if we don't comprehend, right? And like I said, reading is comprehension, but more than that, more than the technique of speed reading, I want to change people's approach towards reading. So, as I said, the name of my book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. And my habit number 4 in the book is quite interesting. It says, get the big picture. Habit number 4, get the big picture. See, these books, which are general books, which are not part of our school and college syllabus, you are not going to be tested on the information that you are reading, right?
Yeah.
Perfection is not expected.
Yeah.
Justin, I've read till now, I've read 1,685 books till now. Do you really think I remember each and every word from it? If I do, I'll go mad. But if you point on
Exactly.
any of these books, and I'm very sure I'll talk for at least 15 minutes on any of these books because I've got the big picture.
Yeah.
Skip the details, get the big picture. All right. If you learn 1, 2, or 3 big ideas from the book, that's all. You're done. Rest is all bonus. Right.
Yeah.
So there is a difference between learning and studying. See, we study in schools and colleges because perfection is expected. It is performance oriented, right? Accuracy is expected. That's studying. But books like Robin Sharma and Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk and
Yeah.
Vishen Lakyani, you don't have to study them. You don't have to gain mastery on these books. You just have
Because
to get those
because you
big
start to
ideas.
apply them. You start
Yeah.
to apply them in your life. So there's no need to like sit there and say that's one of the problems I think a lot of people is the paralysis by analysis of just
Yeah.
being like, oh, I gotta analyze. It's like, no. Like you said, get the big picture. And that's what I like. That's why I don't like to do a lot of, summary and stuff. I like to kind of just sometimes I'm reading Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley, and it's a fascinating book. And there's some things that, just kind of like, I'll just, take a step back and, just want it to just digest in what it's saying, as opposed to, and let it just, take me. I can't tell you exactly every single word he said, but you get the big picture. And that's what you see with a lot of the nonfiction books is that big picture. With fiction, it's more, oh, I remember this part. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite. With nonfiction books, you tend to, read the full, see the full scope. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to share a few more habits from my
Yes,
book.
absolutely.
So as I said,
Absolutely.
habit number 4 was get the big picture. Habit number 5, again, a very practical, actionable habit. So many say that, uh, Amrut, I don't remember what I read. Yeah, I read a lot of stuff, but it's very difficult to retain in your memory. I know many of my friends, especially the girls, they take pen, pencil, rubber, scale, and those pens are of 3 colors: blue, green,
Yeah.
red, and nowadays those fancy fluorescent orange highlighters and green highlighters. They carry so many weapons with them before they open the book, and then they will highlight so much on each page that the non-highlighted part looks like highlighted.
Yes, that does happen. Yeah.
You don't remember by decorating a book. Okay. The best way to remember what you read is to read and discuss. That's my habit number 5. Read and discuss. Discuss what? Not the summary, not the review, not the critical appraisal of the author. One big idea.
Read and
One big
discuss.
idea that shattered your mind, that forced you to replace your old assumption with a new one, old ideology with a new one. For
Yeah.
example, I used to think that introverts are dumb people. They're very
Yeah.
shy. They
Yeah.
can't
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
articulate well. After reading a book called Quiet by Suzanne Cain, it's all about introverts, and she says that uh, no, the quality of an idea and the ability to express that idea has nothing to do with each other, right?
Mm.
If somebody has an idea in his or her head, his or her ability to express that idea has nothing to do with the quality of the idea in her head, right? And I felt like a tight slap on my face. That wow, I was so wrong. And my approach towards introverts changed. Now my objective was to make them open up because they are shy and get the best from their minds, right? Just
Yeah.
because they can't articulate properly, that doesn't mean they don't have great ideas inside them,
Exactly. You just
right?
gotta kind of
So see,
pull them
so
out.
you have to now that I shared that one big idea with you, aren't you curious about the book? Wow,
Yes.
by sharing that idea with a lot of enthusiasm, you might get curious. Okay, what else it might be in the book, the entire book? I should get that book, right?
And that's what I love. That's what I love about following, Instagram, book bloggers is they put the book up there sometimes, and it's like, oh yeah, I need to look at that, book. I need to look at,
Exactly.
I'm always fascinated. It's like,
Uh,
oh, I didn't know about that book,
Correct.
you know?
So
Yeah.
discussions are of two types. Okay, most of the people fall on the first kind of discussion. They discuss about the book, around the book. For example, in the lockdown, my friend called me and said that Amrut, you should read that Yuval Noah Harari's *Sapiens*. It's a fantastic book. I said, is it really? So, what did you learn from it? No, no, no. You should read it. It is a fantastic. You go and watch his interview. He's such a great orator, great author. Yeah, yeah, my friend, I agreed. But can you share something? What's the topic? Some ideas that excited you? No, 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 no. He just bragged. No, he just praised the author, bragged that he read the book. He just spoke around the book. That's one category of people, one category of
Yeah.
readers.
Well, I think a lot of that is bred because of, the media. When they talk about it, it's like, oh, he's number one Nobel Peace Prize, winner, this, that. They tell you all the accolades, nothing about the book,
Exactly.
then it gets people to think like, oh no, it's really good. It's like, well, why is it good? Because I was told it was good, like they don't know the difference between a good book or a bad. It's not even in their mind. They've already been conditioned to like the book before they've even opened the book, or not like
Exactly.
the book, and vice versa.
And they talk about how many pages are there in the book, what is the price of the book, what is the
Yeah.
color of the book. These are useless. It's not adding value to my knowledge. And
Exactly.
then comes the other category of books who talk what they read in the book, what they learned from the book. One big idea. That's all. And that's my favorite hobby. I just love to share that one big idea that I learned from the book that I read recently.
Yeah.
For last 1 hour, I'm doing the same thing. Acres of
Yes.
Diamonds,
Yeah.
right?
You've got me excited. I'm like, I'm gonna go look up all these
Yeah,
books. I'm writing them all
I,
down.
yeah. That idea of the monster from Bhagavad Gita, constraint inspires creativity, introverts. These are all ideas, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very sure you will try one of these books because I spoke what's inside the book and not what's around the book.
Yeah, you
Right. So
didn't tell me.
that's
Well,
what.
this book is amazing, because it won this many awards. It's a best-selling book. Okay, but would you like the
Yeah.
book?
I
It's like
think they don't discuss what's inside the book because probably I suspect whether they have read the book.
that's another thing. Yeah, you'll see these people being interviewed, and then you're like, they didn't even read the book. they just they're
And
just like
so
reading, like, well, it's a really look, it
hmm,
opens like this. There's pages and everything. And you gave me a really good segue here. because that's the thing. Like I'll ask people, it's like, do you read Kindle? Do you do this with the book? It's like it doesn't matter where you're getting, how you're getting the information. It's that you're getting the information. So it could
Yeah,
come from there, it could come from your computer, that's up to you.
exactly.
That's and that's what I like
You,
about
Justin, you spoke my mind, and that's my habit number one. That's
really
my habit number, yeah. And habit number one is actually a non-habit. It says, don't take reading too seriously. I repeat, yes, I am saying this booklet guy who is on mission Make India Read. He's saying, don't take reading too seriously. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, let me elaborate. See, Justin, if something is important to you, don't make it special. Make it casual because habits are casual.
yeah.
You take any of your daily habits, talking on phone, watching Netflix, chatting on WhatsApp, yeah, gossiping. They are so casual and hence habitual. And because they are habitual, they become casual. It's a
Yeah.
virtuous circle,
Yeah.
right? So when somebody asks me that, no, I feel guilty that I've left the previous book half read and now I'm taking the new book. I'm feeling guilty. I'm a bad reader. I tend to counter question them that okay, imagine that you are watching a movie, okay, and it is very boring. It doesn't. It's one of the flop movies you have ever watched. What do? You just change the channel or change the video, right? Do you say, oh, I insulted that actor, I'm a bad movie watcher? You
Yeah,
should never say these things. You never say
nobody
this.
does that. Yeah. And
Why? First,
because
we don't take these things seriously, too
we're not
seriously.
taking it easy.
Second reason, we transfer the onus, the responsibility to entertain us to those artists and directors. We
Yeah.
don't take the blame,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But
Whereas people, when they're reading, they're like, it's to
ah,
me to like this book. It's like, if you don't like it,
yes,
just move on. There's a bunch of other
exactly.
books,
When it comes to reading, we take all the blame. Something
yeah.
is wrong with me. My friend loved that book, but I'm not able to get hooked to it. Something is wrong with me. I'm a bad reader. No, my dear friend.
It's
There
similar
is
to, I think it's because books are so associated with academia that we look at it and be like, oh, this is a test. It's like, and I think that's what our job really is, to just get that idea out of thinking of this. It's like, no, this must be fun.
yeah. You just
It
have to
can be
learn.
academic, but it doesn't have to be. You can learn and have fun.
Yeah.
You can play a video game and you can learn. You can watch a movie and learn. It learning can be anywhere, and books is one facet of a way, but the way we are taught is almost like it's a test. Like you said, it's like, oh man, I'm not getting this. What is wrong with me? Instead of just move on to the next book.
Yeah.
Find
Yeah.
the book that you like. Maybe it's too long, like 48 Laws of Power. Sometimes I've talked to people where they're like,
Dream.
they feel, overwhelmed by that. I would tell them, just break it up one chapter each day if you feel it's too much. But if you don't like the book, just move on to the next book. And that's why I like what you said. Don't take it
Yeah.
too seriously. This isn't a test. Just read what you want to read.
Yes.
Don't read,
Yeah.
don't read a book just because somebody told you to do it. If you don't like the book.
Yeah. I have left hundreds of books half read and I
Exactly.
don't feel guilty about it because even if I quit the book, I don't quit reading.
Exactly.
Books are
Exactly.
now replaced with pages,
Wow.
right? And if while reading, if you feel like, after reading 25 pages, you're not excited, you're finding it very boring, maybe you're not learning anything new from the book. Maybe the author is just wandering off the topic, or it's old wine in new bottle, or maybe after reading 25 pages, you don't find it exciting. The whole objective of the book was to teach you what kind of books you should not read.
Yeah.
At least that purpose is
Exactly.
solved. At least you came to know what kind of books I should not expose to. Right?
Exactly. Just move on.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
Draw any damn conclusion, but please don't conclude that you are a bad reader,
yeah,
because there
there's
is
no such
nothing
thing.
called good reader and bad reader. There is only reader and non-reader. That's
Exactly.
all.
And that's how you can do it. Look at it as incremental success. Atomic Habits, 10% better. Try
Yeah.
to just, just be a little bit better each time. Or
Right.
don't. Just read
Yeah.
every day. Or don't make it into a means goal. Enjoy it. Read at the capacity that is going to make you enjoy it. If you need to read every other 2 days, then that's fine. It depends on, it's all up to you. Just as long as you continue to read, you
Right.
know.
Right.
Yeah, don't
And
read
it,
like what don't misunderstand me and go, yeah, just read, I'm gonna read one page and then 2 months later I'll read that. It's like, and then you've kind of taken that a little out of context, because now
yeah.
you're not going to retain. You're not really at that point. You're going to finish a book like what in
Mhm.
2 years.
You raised a very good point that source is not important.
Yeah.
Now, there was one lady who asked me this question that Amrut, but I don't get that feeling of reading on the app or on Kindle. The feeling of holding the book in the hand, its smell, sitting on the window with a cup of coffee. It's just so soothing. So
Mhm.
I said, okay, now let me counter question you. I asked her, do you watch Netflix? And she said, yes, of course, I do watch Netflix. Why don't you insist that no, I have to go to the theaters, the old way of watching movies with popcorns in one hand and Coca-Cola in the other? You immediately adapted to this technology. This is selective modernization. Okay, you got
Yeah.
modern in some things, and now these are just excuses of not reading. Okay,
Yeah. Let's be
how?
honest. It's just an excuse.
Yeah,
We
how come?
have. Hold on. Let me grab my thing here. We have the ability with this thing to take any book that we want with us. That is not something to be frowned
Yeah.
upon. That is
And this,
that's something we could be on a desert island and you should have this and then maybe a plug. I mean,
this is I see this as a miracle. 1,000 books in your pocket.
yeah,
I can't
exactly,
carry more than 4 books in my bag. I think this is no
exactly.
less than a miracle.
And that's what astounds me. It's just like no, this is a gift from God. You have the ability to have thousands of books at your time, so that if you get to the point where you're like, I don't really like that book, you can move on. If you had to carry all those books, like on that bookshelf, you'd be like, you'd have a whole suitcase
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
like, oh, let me move on to the next thing. This makes it convenient to read. This is the Netflix of reading, where you
How
can
come
just do
how
it
come
anywhere.
medium becomes more important than the message? Never.
I don't
Whether
know.
it is Kindle, PDF, podcast, audio summaries, whatever. Don't you think watching Steve Jobs interview on YouTube is as good as reading part of his biography? Of
Exactly.
course, it's yeah,
They both,
absolutely
they
fine.
both have different, there's both things you can take from it. I
Yes,
mean, Steve
yes,
Jobs's autobiography is, very dense book. So a thick book. So you're going to, he's going to go into more detail about certain things. But yes, if you're listening to him there, you're getting the information. How you
yeah.
get the information doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
It's that you're getting the information. These are
Exactly.
tools. It's a
Yes.
tool to
True.
learn.
It's up
You
to
know,
you how to use it. Yeah.
yeah. Like you
It's
could,
like a knife. A knife is a tool, right?
exactly.
You give it in
Yes,
the
yes.
hands, you give it in the hands of a thief and give it in the hands of a surgeon,
Yeah.
and the whole
It's it's
purpose
it's
changes.
it's it's still the but we're like in the society now where it's like, well, blame the knife. It's like, no, it's not the knife's fault, and like, I get frustrated because I'm like, there's really no excuse to not be able to read, because now you can read anywhere. You can read on your phone. You can read on iPad. You can
Wonderful.
read here. What I like about this is since this is the only thing you can do with it is read, you can't like go and scroll the internet like you could with that. It gives you the signals to the brain where it says, okay, time to read, which is the same thing you get when you have a
Awesome.
book. Whereas with a phone is like, it can be multiple things. So you can very easily get distracted. But there really is no excuse to not be abbreviated. We can
Yeah,
read
yeah.
anywhere. You know, it's just
Yes, yes,
it's
yes,
astounding
yes.
to me. This people get so
Uh,
sucked in on the idea of
that reminds me a new observation of late. Yes, many of us claim that our attention span has gone down to, some claim that it is 30 seconds. The millennials'
yeah.
attention span has gone down to 30 seconds. But I have a different opinion
Mm,
on this. See, attention span has not gone down. The number of distractions have increased because we know that thousand more videos are available to me on one click. I hop from first video to the next. It's not the attention span, etc. If there were no thousand videos available, I would be forced to watch that video. How can we watch a 2 hour movie, Hollywood movie, without any distraction? Where
yeah.
has gone? Where has the attention span gone now? Are you getting my
Mm,
point? So increasing your concentration doesn't mean increasing your focus, but trying to keep away those attractive distractions. I call them
yes.
as attractive distractions. Yes, they are very attractive. Those, the ping on WhatsApp and those notifications, yeah, they are dopamine generating, very dopamine generating. You get addicted to it. Yeah. So
Mm,
cut those distractions at the source. So what I do is, if I have to block myself and read for 30 minutes, I keep my mobile on silent mode and keep it 2 rooms away from me.
wow.
2 rooms away from me for 30 minutes. Okay, and I block myself, read as much as I can. Then after 30 minutes, I take a micro break, check my mobiles, reply to all the messages. Yeah. Micro break of 2, 3 minutes. Again, keep the phone in that room, come
Mm,
back on my reading room, block myself for 30 minutes. Cut the source,
yeah.
cut the distraction at the very source.
Now
You can't,
let me add to this though. That's one way to do it. You know,
yeah,
so people don't get go. I was like, oh, I got to get the phone into the other room, or I'm not gonna. It's like, no, this is just one. This is one way to cut the
yeah,
distractions.
yeah, exactly.
And what we're really saying is, it's about accountability. It's about you are making this decision. Don't let this run your life.
Right.
Decide when you use it. It is a tool as opposed to being an addiction, which I think is what you're saying. So if you need to go take it out into 2 rooms there, then that's right. Because like you said, it is very attractive distraction. It's very easy to just pick it up and just
And
go.
how the easily they distract us, we can easily hack back them. It's very easy to hack back them. You just have to disable all the notifications of
Yeah,
your communication apps. The life
that's it.
becomes so easy. If our viewers take one advice from this podcast and go and disable all the notifications, I would declare mission accomplished.
Yeah, get rid of the pings. I mean, I do that with emails. Otherwise, it would just be like
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. It's like no wonder anybody can get anything done. It's like they're, I mean, they're very smart because they know using sound is going to go, oh, I got to go pick that up. I got to pick that up. It's like, no, no, here's how you defeat that. Just get rid of the sound and then get rid of the pings and use it at your leisure, as opposed to what. Now, here's the dangerous part that they're doing. They're designing these things to addict us. Whereas, so we have to be smarter than that and realize what they're doing with it and realize for what it is. It's a tool.
Right.
And put it into perspective, as opposed to what they want us to do is just be on Instagram 24 hours a day. It would be like, oh,
Right.
wait, oh, oh, oh. 9 hours later, be like, I joke, there's the 5 a.m. club. I guess if you're like just on Instagram all day, you'd be the 5 p.m. club. You would just be like, you'd be like, wait, hold on. Okay. What did I do today? Oh, I did. I was on Instagram. I saw a bunch of dings and dings. It's like, yeah.
Oh, I
And
love
there's
that. The 5
another
p.m. club.
5 p.m. club. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, the day is over. I'm done. Everybody's asleep.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Solitude
So,
of not
Justin,
getting
it's
nothing
it's
done.
it's
Yeah.
9:35 here. It's my
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I know it's about. Let me just wrap this up real fast. I just want a couple more questions, and then we'll go. These are short, quick. Thank you so much for being gracious with your time. Do you have a beginning of the day routine?
Oh, so I wake up at 5 o'clock because I go to bed at 9:30 in the night, and the first thing I do is three, four of my friends we gather on my terrace and we work out for 2 hours. I do calisthenics, I do weight training, I do yoga, I do breathing exercises and cardio and functional training. So, and then by 8 o'clock, have my breakfast, and the first thing I do is read. Okay, now you'll be surprised to know that what must be my target number of pages when I open a book to read. 2 pages.
Two.
2 pages. I'll tell you why. Now, our brain hates big tasks, humongous tasks, and huge projects. Yeah, if I ask Justin that you have to do 1,000 push-ups and 10 kilometers marathon and 5,000 rope jumps, Justin will say, just a bit, I got an urgent call. Okay, I'll get back to you tomorrow.
The
Right?
big task will almost destroy you
Yeah.
before. Like you could just come up with this gargantuan task. It's like,
Yeah, if I say that okay, I have to make a 30 slide PowerPoint, or I have to read this 400 pages book written by Robert Greene, mastery. Oh my God. The obvious reaction is, oh my God. And we naturally procrastinate. But if I say myself, I have to read only 2 pages. Justin, you have to do only 2 push-ups. Only 2 push-ups. Justin will naturally say, oh, 2 push-ups. Come on, I'll do it anyway.
and then you'll naturally do more.
Yeah, yes.
Which
And then
is
you
the
get
problem
started. Yes.
with school is we give them, okay, read this, get this done, and we give them this gargantuan task. We're almost creating procrastination without even realizing it by
That's
giving
right.
them
Exactly.
this gigantic task.
Yeah.
I love what you just
So when you break this huge task into small, tiny, stupid looking activity of not more than 5 minutes,
yeah.
you get started. And getting started is half the battle won. And then I've never stopped on page number 2 because
Exactly.
the law of inertia comes in place. We love to be in the flow, and I end up reading 20 pages.
Exactly. Do you have a nighttime routine?
Yeah, I do. I maintain a gratitude diary where I write 5 points that I'm grateful for. It could be as simple as, so today I had 2 apples, okay, out of which one turned out to be great and the other one was rotten. So I wrote in my diary that today I got one good apple. I should be thankful for it because we are naturally inclined towards to remember the negative things. Oh, that one apple turned out bad. No, that other apple was a good one. Right?
And we
So-
think
so-
the one bad apple like tarnished the whole bunch. It's like, yeah, but you
Yeah.
still got the one good apple. So,
Yeah.
half and half. Which
Yeah.
half do you live? Are you the half glass empty, the half glass full?
Yeah.
It's like 10 people are like, oh God, it was, there's
Yeah.
that one bad thing that happened today. So my whole day is horrible. It's like, no. Look at the other things that happened in the day.
Yes. And
People love to say,
gratitude needs practice. So when I started this exercise on 1st January of this year, I found it very difficult. I was not able to find even 5 points of gratefulness. But today, even and the page is insufficient for me. I write 20 points easily because now I know how to find those positive things in life. As simple as the Apple example. They don't have to be a big things like somebody gifted me a BMW. No, right? I think that
somebody
really
offered you
works.
a coffee.
Yes, it has really worked for me, and I was surprised. There was one of my friends. I used to hate him. I mean, not a bigger way, but I found him very irritating. But when I realized that he has done so many nice things to me through my gratitude diary, slowly my hatred towards him declined.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was so wrong that I was focusing only on the bad part of it. He was giving me so many things and I was ignoring that because our brain is like a garden. So
And that's what,
James
yeah,
Allen has talked about this in his book As a Man Thinketh. Very old book, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. So our mind is like a garden. Okay. So if you do nothing, automatically the weeds will grow,
yeah.
right? And those weeds are like the negative thoughts. Doing nothing is not enough. You have to deliberately sow the positive seeds and then maintain it through fertilizing and watering. Those are the positive thoughts. Okay, you
Well,
have to take special effort for positive thoughts. Negative thoughts will, or else negative thoughts will automatically grow like weeds.
yeah. Vishen Lakiani talked about that. Like once he did forgiveness, and once he was able to forgive somebody, he was able to reach his highest level of,
Right.
of brainwaves that, he didn't think was possible. And it comes to forgiveness, gratitude. These are the things. You mentioned meditation. What does your meditation imply? How do you do your meditation?
Yeah. I won't claim that I've still achieved expertise in meditation, but yeah, I meditate for 5-10 minutes after
Mm,
my workout, simply trying to focus on my breath. Okay. And the moment my attention gets distracted and I think of something else, that what am I going to have in the breakfast after a meditation, I try to bring my attention back on my breath. That's all.
yeah.
That the process of bringing that attention back on your breath is meditation. The practice, it's like flexing your muscles
Yeah.
in the gym. Yeah. So
Yeah.
doing that process again and again will help you to focus more and more. And the whole objective is that if you can focus on the most obvious thing like breathing,
Yeah.
which is so invariable and natural, then you can focus on any other thing in life, right?
That's a great way to look at it. Interesting. Yeah. That's awesome. Last question. I'm a big film guy. What movies do you like?
Oh, I'm not a great movie watcher, honestly. I hardly watch movies. I don't have Netflix. Because whenever I come to know about the movie, oh, I've read that book. I've already read that book. Most of the
Yeah.
book movies are based on some novel.
Yeah.
So, and you know what?
Are you
Once
excited for the
after reading Harry Potter, when I watched the movie
Mm,
Harry Potter, it was the shock of my life that my own Harry Potter of my imagination was so different from the one which was shown on the screen.
yeah.
That was a big disappointment for me. Even the broom on which he flies was very different. Mine was very different. Yeah, the Aladdin's carpet was very different. Mine was very different.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you go into a movie, you kind of have to like divorce yourself of the
Yeah.
idea of what you saw and be like, this is this is an interpretation of it.
Yes. Yes.
It may not be my interpretation of it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It'll like ruin it. Be like, this is not
Yeah.
the movie I saw. You have to call the director and be like, what are you doing? This is not the movie. Well, we can't make the movie for every single person. We've decided to incorporate all the readers of the world. If you have an idea to bring to the movie would just be a mess. It wouldn't make sense in any tone. It would be like,
Right, right,
wait a
right.
minute, why is he what? Who is all this thing? Um,
So anyway, since you asked the question, I think one of my favorite movies was Will Smith's Pursuit of Happiness. I really loved
that's a
that
good movie.
movie. Yeah. But I haven't watched recent Hollywood movies. I think the old ones, the
Are you
Titanic.
excited for
Yeah.
like the Batman? That's a pretty good.
No,
That's a pretty good film.
no, I'm
Anyone
not a
saw
movie
that?
buff.
No, no, no.
Plans to
That's
watch
fine.
it.
That's fine. That's fine. You've given so much. Thank you so much for doing this. This was so great. This is such a wonderful conversation. I mean, we went 2 hours, but I was like, we just kept delving into so many amazing things, and you were so gracious with all the things you divulged and explaining the ideas of speed reading, and just this has just been wonderful. How can
Okay.
people reach you?
Uh, just Google me. My entire information is on Google. Google my name or Booklet Guy of India, and you'll get all the information. There are thousands of videos on YouTube, Instagram, thousands of interviews on Google. Yeah, and then once the WhatsApp thing grew, I also came out with my own mobile app, which is absolutely free, called Booklet, and hence people call me as Booklet guy. And my it's a completely free app called Booklet, and almost 4 million readers are part of my mission Make India Read, reading books and book summaries with me. And then I have an audio facility also. I record those summaries in my voice, and all the readers listen to it. Every week I upload a new book summary on the app, so you can give it a shot to it. But again, I don't stand for booklet apps and those book summaries. I stand for the higher purpose of reading habit. I do not care whether our viewers go home and download booklet app, but I really care if even one viewer reads 5 pages tonight before going to bed. I would declare mission accomplished.
That's all we're asking for. 5 pages. I think that's doable. Booklet guy, thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you so much. Happy reading. And please wash your
Yes.
hands. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Okay, that was part 2 of my interview with the booklet guy, Amrutdeshmukh. I want to thank him for doing this interview. I learned a lot. Remember, if you can just do 5 pages a day, you'll be in good shape. Just start 5 pages and see where that takes you. Also, look at his mission statement, Make India Read. It's very noble of him. As always, you can find me at Justin Yance. The easiest way to find me is Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. But the easiest way is to find me on Instagram. That I will respond to immediately. So yes, and next week I will bring you another interview. And I think I'm going to, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to put this together as one long interview as like kind of bonus episode. So for those of you that want to take it in as one part, or those of you that want to take it as 2 parts, it's up to you. So thank you. And I will see you next time on the DMF